Hello everyone, we're back and we're going to work on our Totally Junk journal again. Now, as a reminder, just so you remember, this series of videos is something I am doing in my live streams on Sundays. I start my live stream at noon on Sundays, and the Totally Junk journal is usually the last project, because I never know exactly how long it's going to take. One of the things I want to tell you is that if you want to watch the live stream, please come and join us and join in the chat. But I really wanted to put this up as separate videos just so those that missed the live stream don't have trouble finding it. And so that's what I'm doing. And it does help me to prepare for Sunday. A couple of things that you need to be on the lookout for. And this is, well, this happens to be an art magazine, but in the newspaper, a lot of times you will get these that's slightly shiny. It's kind of newspaper-y weight. Newspaper will work as well. Be on the lookout for some kind of paper like that. Newsprint, something lightweight, but something reasonably sturdy. We're not going to use it right away, but so you have time to look for it. You might also want to keep an eye out for some colored envelopes. This was a envelope from a Christmas card, and this looks like it was a return envelope. And so keep your eye out for some of that. There again, we're not going to use that today, but down the road we likely will use it. Today we're going to use security envelopes and envelopes that are white on the inside. And remember that these are the ones that I get in the mail. It's recycle. I do put all this stuff in the recycle. It's just one of those things I do. It doesn't matter what the print is inside, something you like. We're also going to try to use up some that are white inside, and a lot of times the return envelopes are white inside. I don't know exactly why that is, but also I was going to show you, sometimes some envelopes have a little more usable space for today's project. See, this one has these angled pieces, and this one is more straight inside. It gives us a bigger piece of paper to work with. Not a big deal. We got plenty of envelopes. We're going to cut these envelopes up into 2-inch squares. And we just want a bunch of little 2-inch squares. So you do want to try to be careful and get them to be square, but I'm not horribly worried about the edge of them. My trimmer is actually starting to go. But see, there's a bunch of 2-inch squares is what we need. And we're going to want some of the printed ones. Now, I've already cut some up, so you don't have to sit and watch me cut up a whole ton of 2-inch squares, but I just thought I'd give you an idea of what I was talking about. Now you could do this with larger squares and smaller squares. I just chose 2-inch squares because they're a little bit easier to work with. And, uh-oh, now that was very crooked. Not only are they easier to work with, but at the same time, they are also small enough that they will give us some fun pattern in our journal. Okay, so we're just going to start with a bunch of those. The next thing we're going to do is, okay, let me bring you in just a little bit. We're going to fold it in half. And on the white ones, I'm putting the white out. And then this is the folded edge. And I'm going to take this cut edge and bring it to this cut edge. Let me see if I can show you without getting my fingers in the way. Okay. Burnish your edges down real well. Okay, so this is a folded edge and that's a folded edge, and I'm going to make them meet. And I end up with this little folded up triangle. This is a design that is often used along the edges of quilts with fabric. So again, I folded it in half. I folded the cut edge to the cut edge, like so. And then I did this folded edge meets the folded edge in the middle. And they look like little pyramids. Okay, and now we're going to do the same thing with our security envelope pieces. So I've got some white ones to fold, and I've got some, and somehow or another I got a couple. See what happens when they're not square? Don't ask me how I managed to do that, but I did it. This one's not square either. We'll just set it aside for now. So I fold, and I fold. Okay, I'm just going to get these all folded up, and then we'll go on. Okay, so I have a whole bunch of my little squares folded into these little pyramids. And now I'm going to choose a page to work on. And we're going to add another fun decorative element to the page. I think I'm going to work on this one right here. We're going to put another edge on it. This is the edge I'm going to use. Now, I have one of these. It's called a centering ruler, and I really like it because I don't have to do math to figure things out. But what we want to do is find the center point of our edge. And so if I measure it and it's not quite 8.5, that would be a 4 1/4. Okay, so I can do it that way, But I also have this centering ruler where it starts at 0 in the middle, and if I can't do it that way, I have to be able to see the ruler. Sorry, guys. There's the 0, and I find over here, I find where I've got to put it just under 4 1/4 on each side. So it says almost 4 1/4 over here, almost 4 1/4 over there, and that 0 is my center line. And the reason it is almost is because I trimmed off the edge of this envelope with my scissors, and I didn't measure, I just trimmed it off. Okay, so then we need some glue, and I am going to use wet glue today because and I'm going to use art glitter glue because I found it, I really like it. I don't think that glue stick is going to hold real well for the edge of this. If you were putting it in a book or something and going to stitch over it, glue stick would work fine, but this is what we're going to use today. So I'm going to take one of my little triangle pieces, and I'm going to find the center where the two pieces are folded together. Let me bring you back in here. Okay. And I'm going to set that center on that 1/4 of an inch, and I'm going to bring it in about 1/4 of an inch, just like so. Okay? So when I place it down, this point and that line are going to line up, and it's going to come in about 1/4 of an inch. Right in here is going to be the edge of my little triangle piece. And I am just going to put some glue across the back. And set it down. Now, since we're using paper, we're going to glue in here just a little bit, okay? Because we don't want these coming up and causing trouble down the road. Now, if this was fabric, we wouldn't glue them down because we want the bendy part of the fabric. So, and what I'm going to do now is just go across the back, and I am going to put this tip right where this fold line is. I guess it would be easier if I had glued all of the flaps down first, but oh well. Oh, well, I guess I need to glue in there too. Okay, let me show you where I'm putting glue. I'll put the glue down before I lay this down next time. Okay, so I'm opening it up, putting a little bit of glue in, putting a little glue on each little flap. Not a lot, just a little. Like so. Just gluing my piece into a completed thing. Alright, once again I'm going to take this tip and put it on the middle of the last piece. And each time I do that, I'm just adding a little bit to our fun border. Now, why did I start in the middle? Why didn't I just start at one end and go all the way? The problem with doing that is that I don't have an exact measurement. I didn't make my squares to fit a specific size thing. I can't tell you how many little triangles you're going to need because your envelope is probably different size than mine. I didn't trim it exactly. It's all I mean, the edge of my envelope's even rough. So it's all going to be just a tip different. Well, when we get down to the bottom and the top edge, we'll figure out what we got to do to make it look right. It might be perfect with just this last one, or it might need something else. Okay. So that is why I started in the middle. Okay, so now we have to take a look at this. We have to decide what we want to do. If I put another one on, I'm going to get half of one basically. Just a touch over half of one, which I don't think I would like. I think I'd rather leave it just the way it is with a little bit of the page showing, and that makes me perfectly content, except that we have to finish the edges, because right now both edges need a little bit of finishing touch to them. And I have a fun envelope I've been using for that kind of thing. It's a really nice one like this, and it has a nice long, it's nice and long, so it gives me enough to I think it's going to give me enough to cover the whole thing. So I'm going to cut a couple of little strips. Oh, I'll say about 3/4 of an inch wide, but I'm not even going to measure. I'm just going to cut. Maybe not 3/4, maybe more like 5/8. I'm going to cut 2 because I want to put one on both sides. Okay. Oh, that's going to just fit. Okay. Now I'm going to run a bead of glue right here along these things just to make sure that this gets it where I need it. And isn't it cute? It's a fun and cute border in our book. Now, all of these little ideas can be carried over to an altered book and something you're using very specific supplies for. You don't have to be using just scraps to do this technique. So it's just that we are doing them with the scraps, partially to save them from the recycled bin and partially to reuse what we have. If you don't have a ton of security envelopes, I do save them. I do. The patterns intrigue me, so it's something that I look at and look for. So it's you can use scrapbook paper to do these techniques. You can use magazine cutouts to do these techniques. Now then, how about that? Isn't that a fun page? Okay, now I want to take and use this fun technique and do something fun to make a belly band. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I want to find a piece of my paper. Let's see, I'm looking for something that's maybe a little different, but it has to be long enough to go all the way from the top to the bottom. So okay, this will do. And I'm going to cut a 2-inch wide piece. Oh. Well, I need a bigger piece of paper. Sorry guys, I guess we'll go ahead and use this one because I can get a long enough piece out of it. I'm going to cut it off on the sides a little bit anyway, so this will work. But what I need is I need a 2-inch wide piece from here to here. It needs to be the height of my envelope, whichever envelope I'm putting it on. And you don't have to put it on this page if you don't want to put it on this page. We're just making a belly band. Okay. Now, we're going to need a lot more pieces, and I think this time I'm going to use some different patterned pieces so that we have a variety. So I'm going to do something like this. Okay. And what I'm going to do is, once again, I'm going to find the center. Where'd my centering ruler go? Right here. I'm also going to find the very center of the strip. If it was a 2-inch wide piece, it's 1 inch to the middle. So right here is my center. Okay. And we're going to start with 2 pieces that are the same. This time when we glue them down, we want to be a little more generous with the glue on the back because we're not gluing it just to the edge. I'm going to stick some glue inside. I'm going to glue these little flaps down. And the thing of it is I'm going to take these little tips right here off later. So I'm not going to worry about gluing the very bottom edge. What I'm or very outside edge, what I'm going to do is put all my glue right here in the middle. Okay, just like that. And I'm going to put this one down right here. Turn it over. Well, like I said, it might have been a good idea had I glued all of these ahead of time so you didn't have to watch me fumble, but oh well. All right, now the next one, let's put some, we got 2 white ones, so let's go for the white ones. And I may end up having to cut and fold some more. That's fine. You know, every time you do a project, you don't know exactly how much you're going to use, because you don't know how big your strip is going to be. Now, this one, I want to lay, roughly 1/4 of an inch from there to there, from the tip to the tip, just like so. All right, let's see, we got another one of these. Let's go for it. Since I'm making a pattern that's kind of specific, if I wasn't paying attention to the patterns, then it wouldn't matter what I grabbed. But since I am going to turn this around and work the other side at the same time, so I don't go too far and not have enough of the right patterns to match it. In other words, since I'm making it symmetrical top and bottom, I want to continue with that symmetrical kind of thing. So I do like throwing the little white pieces in there. Just, I don't know, it just kind of breaks up all of the pattern. Makes it visually just a little bit easier to look at too, I think. Need to fold one of these. Okay guys, I've run out of little squares, so I am going to pause the video for just a few minutes and cut them, rather than make you watch me cut up a bunch of little 2-inch squares and fold them up. So I'll be right back, and we'll get this little belly band finished up. Alrighty, I'm sorry that I had to go and make some more pieces, but I did also glue the little flaps down while I was gluing, and so it should save us a little bit of time. I decided I wanted white ones between each of my prints. I decided that I wanted to reuse the stripe. I had enough. I could do that. You know, you can always change your plan. You know, depending upon what materials you have, you want to be flexible with your idea and your design, just so that you can change it up if you don't have exactly the right material. Oops, that one just slid off a little bit. Okay. Oh, I didn't think. On this outside one, you do want to make sure you glue along the edge pretty good. On the very last one. Okay, what pattern? This is the pattern we want. Now remember, we're putting quite a bit of weight on something that's just a piece of envelope. So I do have a plan to make it a little sturdier. We could have done this on something that was a little heavier, like something that was cardstock weight. It wasn't, you know, but I had the envelopes, and the envelope works, and I'll show you what we're going to do to get past the fact that that's just a lightweight piece. And like I said, on this very last one, make sure you glue all the way across the bottom. I got enough glue on that other one. I'm not worried about it. But. Okay, now I have two. Remember, we cut our thing about 2 inches wide. This is about. These are two strips about 1 inch wide out of the same pattern. Doesn't have to be, but it is. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold over about 1/4 inch. Okay? On both pieces. And did I measure? No. If you want to measure, measure. That may be closer to 3/8 of an inch. I'm not gonna. Okay, but you see I have a narrow edge and a wide edge, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put glue on my narrow edge, right along there, and then I'm going to put glue on all along the fat edge. And I am going to lay the edge of this right in the fold. Okay, and I'm going to lay this down like so. And I'm going to turn it around. I'm going to do exactly the same thing on the other side. Put the edge of your paper right in the fold. And now, because we added those 2 extra pieces back there, our belly band's got a little more stability. Let me bring you back out so you can see the whole thing. I do have a little bit of excess where my pieces that I just added are a little bit long, so I'm going to trim them off. And now let's add it to our page. Yes, yes, yes. Add it to our page. Now, this is a page that's security envelope, and it's not going to be great to write on. But if we put this belly band on there, and see how it adds to the edge, and we have this cute belly band. Okay, so now I am going to put some glue on it. Both ends. And if you need to, you can put some paper clips or some clamps, something like that on it, just to make sure it stays. I think I'll put some paper clips on it today, just so I can put it back, tuck it back in my book. Now remember, guys, that, throw things around. I do my live stream on noon on Sundays. So if you want to join in on the chat and all that kind of thing when we're doing these projects, I'd love to have you. There is a playlist for the Totally Junk Journal. It will definitely be in the description box below and probably on the video somewhere. I'm going to put this back into my little signature. Like so. And now we have this fun edge that we did. And we have this fun edge and a belly band that we did. So I hope you guys are enjoying this project. I hope you'll play along with us. Where did my little book go? I was going to read you a quote. Ha ha ha. It went off to Never Never Land. I'm going to read you a quote from our 1001 Ways to Creativity, and then I had better get busy. I've got a lot to do today. The reward of art is not fame or success, but, oh, I have read that one before, Intoxication. That's by Cyril Connolly. It is only through doing that the spirit is released. What is the point of building beautiful dream castles if no one can ever visit them? I agree. Okay, guys, go have fun. Make some art. Bye-bye.